Welcome to anybody who's ever gonna see it. My name is Pai and I'm a Buster Blader player, and I combined the deck with Dragunity, and I think the fact that Gator can search any dragon isn't something new, so I didn't innovate on it, but it's just a deck profile I use every day, every time, every week. So I'm gonna show it to you, and maybe some people will see it and be like, damn, I wanna play Buster Blader, so I guess I'm trying to help out, okay? First of all, we're gonna play 3 Buster Whelp. Basically, he's the Stratus for the deck. He can search any Destruction Sword card, and most likely it will be Prologue, which we are also playing 3 of. So we want to max out on our chances to get the Buster Lock active. And it's pretty consistent, you will see, because of Dragunity and playing 6 copies of it. But with it, there are like 4 kinda bricks. You don't want to see them in hand, but you can just play with them in hand. Like, it doesn't really matter, but it would be better not to see them. And this is Buster Blader Destruction Swordsman, Buster Blader itself, and 2 Destruction Sword Memories, which means you're able to go into the Buster Lock twice per game. Sounds cool, but doesn't come up as often as you would be thinking. But this is the Buster Blader package, and now into the Dragunities. To start off the Dragunity portion of the deck, we're gonna play triple Remus. Remus is from Ghost from the Past, pretty new, and almost ban-worthy, because he can special summon itself, he can search Dragon Ravine, which means he's an absolute powerhouse of a card, and he starts so many combos. He's good going first, second, and even in the grand game. So we're gonna play another copy of Remus with Gold Sarcophagus, just to banish Tempest, and after banishing Tempest, his effect will resolve and add another Remus to our hand. Then we're also playing 1 Terraforming and triple Dragon Ravine, because Dragon Ravine is also a starter, which sounds like a big negative at first, but is pretty cool, because we can use Dragon Ravine, ditch a card, add Remus, activate Remus, ditch him for another Dragon Ravine, and then combo off, which is like the same combo with a -1, but it's fine in the end because you're gonna plus so much off of it. It's pretty insane. To play the Dragunity combo, you're gonna need a lot of one-offs, which means we're playing 1 Legatus, 1 Sephiroth, 1 Mistletoe, 1 Red MD, 1 Baby Rock, and those are the combo pieces for the uninterrupted combo, which means your opponent has no hand traps, which won't happen that often, but if it comes up, you're gonna combo through a lot of things. Like, you're gonna take like 5 minutes or something. He can special summon itself. He can bounce Dragon Ravine to summon itself back. He can summon itself and equip Gaydog. He can get you any dragon from the graveyard, and he's just an extender. Like, you're gonna understand what they all do and how they are gonna be used when you see the combo, but important to notice, you're gonna need all of them. Like, they're your important one-offs. Then in addition to the combo pieces, we're gonna play triple Dragunity Claw, which is also a combo piece. You're gonna see it, but it's also pretty ridiculous in the grand game. Like, this card enables so much, and right now I'm thinking, like, if you don't play 3, don't play the deck, because it is one of the resources in the grand game. It's always like a +2 at least, which means it's gonna help you get into Boros Sword, it's gonna help you beat Sky Striker with equipping their cards, special summon them to your side of the field. Like, this card is pretty insane. And also, we're gonna play 1 Divine Lance of Dragunity, because this card is just another extender for being hand trapped or to being searched by Romulus. So just a nice extender in general. Okay, for the grind game, we're gonna need 1 Armor Cram, 1 Tempest, 1 Dukes, and 1 Kuze. Mainly, those 2 can special summon itself every turn. He's probably banished, so it's mainly him, but he's pretty insane. He can negate a card. He's a 2900 attack monster. And Dukes and Kuze are just for synchro plays or Boros or Turbo. And you can summon Ascalon, which is like such an old synchro monster which can banish every monster on your opponent's side of the field. Like, it's insane. You're gonna see it if you play with it, or maybe I will show you in the combo. So the last cards will be things to complement the Buster strategy and hand traps, like one Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, one Return of the Dragon Lords, and one Destruction Sword Flash. He's locking out of the extra deck, which is pretty insane. Return of the Dragon Lords just protects your dragons from being destroyed, which is also pretty cool. And also nice extender for the late game if you happen to draw into it. But I'm only playing one because it's not that needed, because you have so much grind game and it's nice to discard off of Dragon Ravine, but I think you don't need it at 3. And Destruction Sword Flash is just targeting protection of the Buster Blader fusion if it's in the grave, and you will get it into the grave with the Link monster and stuff. So those will reinforce your Buster Blader combo. Now to the hand traps or disruption. Like, we're gonna play one Called by the Grave because you're a combo deck, you want to combo off, and you don't want your opponent to hand trap you. Then we're also playing one Mirador, just because you can search it off of Tempest, and actually it's not that bad, like against Rusty Body. And I mean, if you went to a local, a lot of people are playing PK Fire or anything with PK. Then we're also playing 2 Ash Blossoms and 2 Ghost Bells. Just generic hand traps. I think Ghost Bell is the best hand trap in the game right now. I mean, unpopular opinion, because Ash Blossom can stop any rogue deck, but like, Ghost Bell is so important against DD Crow, against different decks who play with the graveyard, for example, Tridrone, Sky Striker and stuff, so I think you need Ghost Bell in the deck. I would love to run 3, but I don't have the space for it, and I also want to run 2 Ash Blossoms, so those are the hand traps, and with it, a complete 40 card deck. Okay, to finish with the extra deck, we're gonna play 2 Buster Blader, just because you can resolve the lock twice, so why not play it twice? And also 1 Buster Dragon, because Prologue can also summon him from the grave, which means you're using the same copy over and over again. We're playing 1 Gaydog, just because he's the most important card of the deck. He's a roader, he's an extender, he's basically everything without a hard once per turn. We're playing 1 Romulus to search Dragunity Claw or the lands, so pretty important extender. We're playing 1 Atum, which can get you any dragon from the deck, which is basically LP, and LP just got banned, but we don't need LP, which is pretty cool. Then we're playing 1 of the Buster Link. He can send any Destruction Sword card from the deck to the graveyard, and this is most likely gonna be Destruction Sword Flash to protect your Buster from being targeted. And we're also playing 1 Heavenly Seal, great disruption, and also giving you Armor Cram for the grind game, so you don't need to search Armor Cram or mill it with Dragon Ravine, so he's pretty cool. And we're also playing 1 Crystal Wing and 1 Boros Sword, and not Boros Sword, Boroload, because those 2 are your disruptions. You can also go into them later in the game, which is most likely going to be Crystal Wing, because your first negation you're going to put up will be Boroload, because he's an Omni Negate, which means you can negate Widow Anchor, you can negate Lightning Storm and all of that stuff. Then we're also playing 1 Barker just because he's a nice extender, even with Dragunity Claw. We're gonna play 1 Clear Wing just to be like a plan B if Gaydar gets negated and you have a level 1 tuner. He's also protecting your monsters and also negating monsters. So he's pretty cool. Comes up more likely in the late game and doesn't come up as often, but you will need him in the extra deck because there are situations where you think you would love to see him. So I'm never taking him out. And we're also playing both level 10 Dragunity Synchro monsters because he's in Monster Negate, he's a Banish Everything. And banishing everything is so strong. Like, believe me, it's gonna come up a lot, because you can make him with Barker over Dukes and Coups. So he's insane, and he also floats if he's destroyed. Nice for going second and nice in the grand game. And then we're just playing Borisword, which is a pretty important card because he's your finisher, or like your piece for going second. Because if you go second, you're gonna play Borisword Turbo, and that's the extra deck. So I'm gonna now show you the combo. To finish the deck profile, I'm gonna show you the most basic combo, which means your opponent has no hand traps and you are not having another dragon, which changes a lot because you don't get to use Tempest's effect and stuff, but I will mention it when it comes up. So at first we're gonna use Remus, get ourselves Dragon Ravine. To activate Dragon Ravine, we're gonna ditch a card and add to our hand Legatus. Legatus effect, special summon itself, special summoning Remus, go into a level 6 Synchro, which is always gonna be Gate Arc. So we're gonna activate Gate Arc's effect, add Sephiroth, and discard Sephiroth. Now we're using Sephiroth's effect to bounce for cost, and then special summon himself and take 400 damage. Bouncing for cost is nice to know for people having a Ghost Bell, but it won't come up as often because after people realize he bounces for cost, they won't do it. So now, because we don't have a dragon, we have to use our Dragon Ravine. Otherwise we would be able to send Tempest with it and fuse with him later, so we get the banish effect, but for now we're gonna use Dragon Ravine, ditch a card, and add to our hand the Dragunity monster, which is Coups. Now we can go into Link 2, get ourselves Romulus. Romulus effect, we search as Dragunity Claw, which we can now activate to add to our hand Mistletoe. And we can special summon itself by sending one other Dragunity monster away, and on summon he will add Gate Arc or equip him. So we can now use Dragunity Claw to banish itself and special summon Gate Arc from Deep Spell Trap Zone. Now we can use Gate Arc's effect, and this is why we added Kuze, because we didn't have another dragon, to add to our hand the Buster Whelp and discard Kuze. So now we have access to the Buster Lock, which is pretty cool, but we can go even further. We're gonna make an overlay into our tomb, use the tomb's effect to detach Gate Arc and special summon Where There's Darkness Metal Dragon. We can use his effect to special summon Gate Arc again. He's not a once per turn, as you can see. Use its effect, add Mist Valley Baby Rock and discard it. So his effect triggers. He needs to be the last thing that happened in the chain. Okay, that's pretty important, otherwise he misses timing. Special summon Mist Valley Baby Rock, and now we can start. Like going into Overload Savage Dragon, use its effect to equip from the graveyard Romulus. So he gets a 600 attack boost and we get 2 negates. Pretty cool, anti-Nibiru, but mostly anti-Lightning Storm and stuff. And important to note, always summon in defense position for Lightning Storm. Then we're gonna use our both monsters to special summon the Buster Whelp, Link monster. We're gonna use its effect to send the Destruction Sword. Then we're gonna normal summon the Buster Whelp, use its effect to add Prologue, which is our Buster Blader Fusion and Synchro monster. Then we can use those two for Link 2, go into Heavenly Spheres, and then we can just send a card, end our turn with 2 cards in hand, which can be anything. And in our opponent's standby phase, we're going to activate Prologue, send for cost a Buster Blader and Memories. Then we're going to kindly ask our opponent if they have a response. Otherwise, we're going to chain Destruction Sword Memories and make a fusion from the graveyard, which means we're going to use the Buster Blader and anything because we don't have Tempest. Otherwise, you would be using Tempest to get another search of it. And we will be special summoning the Fusion monster and the Buster Dragon. And after summoning, we can use Buster Dragon effect to equip to the Buster Blader a copy of the Destruction Sword. So we have an extra deck lock, we have a negate, and a bounce, 2 cards in hand and a Dragon Ravine ready. For example, if all of that gets removed but we have the Dragon Ravine, let's just imagine for a second, which is pretty unlikely, but it can happen. Use Dragon Ravine to ditch another card, search Dukes, normal summon Dukes to equip Kuze, and from there you're gonna have all the options, like most likely you're gonna have Armor Cram and stuff, so you can go into Borosword Turbo, or you can go into Barker and summon one of the level 10 Synchros, and then the grind game is gonna be yours, I guess. Or I hope so. So this is the deck profile, this is the main combo, and I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I was able to convince some people into playing Buster Blader or giving it a chance. And as said, I think this is the best possible build for it. Like, in my opinion, maybe there is somebody smarter than me and being able to build an even better Buster Blader deck. But I think this is going to be one of the best builds, if not the best.